Hello everyone, very good morning to all. Am I audible, guys?
Good
Good morning.
morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Good
Audible.
morning.
Good morning, good morning. Just wait for a few more seconds. We'll start. Okay, just give me a few more seconds. We are about to start. All right. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining this meeting, and let's just start today's sessions. Okay, so I hope last week basic fundamentals, whatever we discussed about the SDN, is clear to everyone. And let's start the actual module from today, where we have to understand a step by step process कि हमारा SD-WAN कैसे काम करता है, क्या उसके आर्किटेक्चर की कंपोनेंट होते हैं, एंड what are the all function of the different different component. इसके बारे में हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं, क्योंकि बेसिक चीज़ें टर्मिनोलॉजी के बारे में जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है टू गो एंड डू द कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. सो कॉन्फ़िगरेशन विल ट्राई टू गो टुडे ऑल्सो, कि सेकेंड हाफ में हम देखते हैं कि अगर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन कुछ हम स्टार्ट कर पाएँ. बट उससे पहले वी जस्ट हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द कंट्रोलर्स, कि भाई कौन सा कंट्रोलर है, उसका क्या रोल है, और क्या क्या हमारे SD-WAN के अंदर फीचर्स हैं इन टर्म ऑफ द कि जो हमारा ऑटो प्रोविजनिंग मीन्स जीरो डे प्रोविजनिंग का फीचर हमारे पास है. वी हैव द प्रोविजनिंग कि भाई हम एप्लीकेशन में राउटिंग कर सकते हैं. वी हैव अ प्रोविजनिंग कि हम यहाँ पे सेंट्रल मैनेजमेंट यूज करते हैं, कंट्रोल प्लेन डेटा प्लेन हमारा सेपरेटेड होता है. वी हैव द प्रोविजन की यहाँ पे हम पॉलिसी यूज करते हैं, राउटिंग प्रोटोकॉल अलग यूज करते हैं. बट इन एडिशन ऑफ दैट, क्या क्या ऐसी सर्विसेज हैं जो हम SD-WAN के थ्रू कनेक्ट करते हैं, और कैसे हमारी लाइफ को ईजी बनाता है, दैट ऑल्सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. थोड़ा सा मैं ब्रीफ करता हूँ बिल्कुल डे जीरो से. जैसे हमारे पास SD-WAN का जो हमने चीज़ें किया था कि भाई वाई SD-WAN सॉल्यूशन आर्किटेक्चर, सॉफ्टवेयर फीचर्स, लर्न मोर. और जैसे हमारा ओल्ड मतलब लेगेसी हमारा वैन आर्किटेक्चर है, कि बेसिकली हम क्या करते हैं कि एवरीथिंग, जैसे ब्रांच से कहीं आपको जाना है, सो यू मस्ट हैव टू गो सम डेटा सेंटर हेडक्वार्टर्स. वहाँ से आपका कोई भी SaaS एप्लीकेशन होता है, उसकी रिचेबिलिटी आप बिल्ड करते हो. या फिर आपका वहाँ पे अगर सपोज करो कि कोई क्लाउड प्रोवाइडर है, जैसे आप AWS एज्योर, वहाँ से रिचेबिलिटी बिल्ड करते हो, और बाकी साइटें आपके हब पे जाती है. दैट्स गोइंग टू ऐड द लेटेंसी इन द नेटवर्क. क्यों? क्योंकि आप पहले एक लोकेशन दूसरे लोकेशन जाते हो, कि हर सिटी में, हर कंट्री में आपका डेटा सेंटर नहीं होता है. माइट बी यूर सिटिंग इन इंडिया, आपका डेटा सेंटर US में है, तो पहले आप US जाते हो, फिर एप्लीकेशन को एक्सेस करते हो. ऑल्सो द हब हैविंग लॉट ऑफ लोड्स, वहाँ पे आपका पीरीमीटर फायरवॉल्स हैं, वहाँ पे इंटरनेट का ब्रेकआउट है, तो बॉटल नहीं होने, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होता है हब में, तो योर ऑल रीजन इज गोइंग टू बी इम्पैक्टेड. मतलब हर रीजन, अगर सपोज करो कि इंटरनेट सर्किट आपकी डाउन हो गई, तो सारे लोकेशन पे आप इंटरनेट सर्किट आपका इम्पैक्ट हो जाएगा. दैट्स नॉट अ गुड आइडिया. तो इन्हीं सारी चीज़ों को, प्रॉब्लम को दूर करने के लिए वी बिल्ड द SD-WAN solution. मीन्स कि दिस इज गोइंग टू गिव द architecture. Means you don't have to go in somewhere data center. From every branch sitting on the any location, you can bring the any kind of the connectivity to any kind of the service provider, like वो cloud का हो, या फिर आपका बेसिकली वो मान के चलो कि that is going to be your AWS, या फिर Azure, या फिर आपका SaaS एप्लीकेशन हो, या फिर आपका ब्रांच टू ब्रांच आपकी कनेक्टिविटी हो. Those all are going to be make sure having the direct connectivity, या तो टनल के थ्रू होंगे या तो DIA के थ्रू होंगे, बट दे आर गोइंग टू बी reachable टू ईच अदर, एंड दे आर गोइंग टू बी मेक श्योर कि वो सारे कम्युनिकेशन कर रहे हैं सिक्योरली. तो इसके अंदर बेसिकली हमारे पास जो सर्विसेज हैं, मतलब कि अगर SD-WAN की बात करते हो, तो व्हाट दे आर गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड एनी लोकेशंस. पहली चीज़ कि मतलब किसी लोकेशन पे बैठकर, आप किसी भी लोकेशन में बैठकर, चाहे वो ब्रांच हो, को लोकेशन हो, क्लाउड हो, रिमोट वर्क हो, मतलब आप कहाँ से बैठ के, जो वर्कफोर्स होती है ना, जैसे हम लोग एम्प्लॉय होते हैं, तो माइट बी समबडी सिटिंग इन डेटा सेंटर, सम हमारा कुछ हमारा सर्वर जैसे हमारा क्लाउड में बैठा हुआ है, या कोलो. कोलो क्या होता है कि रेंटेड लोकेशन, जहाँ पे हम अपने डिवाइसेस को या सर्वर्स को हम होस्ट करते हैं, कोलो को बोलते हैं. कोलोकेशन मीन्स कि इट्स नॉट योर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. लेकिन ये क्लाउड भी नहीं होता है. क्लाउड के अंदर क्या होता है कि आपके हार्डवेयर भी नहीं होता है, आपको सिर्फ सर्विसेज एप्लीकेशन होस्ट करना होता है, आपको वहाँ पे स्पेस मिल जाता है. लेकिन कोलो के अंदर आप अपना एक्चुअल हार्डवेयर भी डाल सकते हो, एंड दे कैन ऑल्सो गोइंग टू मेक अ कनेक्टिविटी. ब्रांच, डेफिनेटली आप ब्रांच होते हो. रिमोट यूजर आपको पता ही है क्या होता है. किसी तरह का ट्रांसपोर्ट हो, मतलब कि देखो पहले क्या होता था कि हम जनरली डिपेंडेंट होते थे इंटरनेट पे या एमपीएलएस पे, यही होता था हमारे पास दो सॉल्यूशंस जिसके थ्रू हम कनेक्ट करते थे। लेकिन आज के डेट में अगर सॉफ्टवेयर डिफाइन क्लाउड इंटरकनेक्ट भी है, जिससे एक्सप्रेस राउट हो गया, क्लाउड कनेक्ट हो गया, ठीक है, या हमारे पास 5G 4G LTE इंटरनेट सर्किट है, या सैटेलाइट हमारे पास सर्किट्स हैं, मतलब कनेक्टिविटी ट्रांसपोर्ट का, स्टिल आई कैन मेक द कनेक्टिविटी। मीन्स एनी लोकेशंस, एनी ट्रांसपोर्ट, एनी सर्विसेज। देखो, समझ रहे हो आप लोग कि मतलब SD-WAN क्या करता है? मतलब पहले आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें को इंटीग्रेट करना, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड करना पड़ता था, बट नाउ इट्स लाइक एनी ट्रांसपोर्ट, एनी लोकेशन, एनी सर्विसेज। चाहे मल्टी क्लाउड ऑप्टिमाइजेशन हो, मल्टी लेयर सिक्योरिटी, आपको फायरवॉल सर्विसेज चाहिए, वो भी आपको मिल जाएगा SD-WAN के थ्रू। यू डोंट हैव टू बाय एनी फायरवॉल वेंडर्स, आपको पोलो ऑल्टो की जरूरत नहीं है। यू कैन इंटीग्रेट द पोलो ऑल्टो फायरवॉल्स विद SD-WAN, बट SD-WAN के अंदर खुद ही आपका सिक्योरिटी के फीचर, जैसे मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ, लेट मी शो वन ऑफ द वी मैनेज। देखो यहाँ पे इसमें लॉग इन किया। इफ आई लॉग इन हियर, प्लीज म्यूट गाइस योरसेल्फ। सो आनंद प्लीज म्यूट कर लो। देखो इसके अंदर बेसिकली जाते हैं, हम इसको कन्फिगर करेंगे। देखो सिक्योरिटी के अंदर, सिक्योरिटी के अंदर देखो यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने पॉलिसी बना रखा है, यू कैन डू एनी पॉलिसी। देखो जिसके अंदर क्या है, एप्लीकेशन फायरवॉल है, ठीक है, इंट्रूजन प्रिवेंशन है, IDS IPS है, यू कैन डू द URL फिल्टरिंग, एडवांस मालवेयर प्रोडक्शन, DNS सिक्योरिटी, TLS इंक्रिप्शन। तो आप यहाँ बना भी सकते हो। इफ यू वांट टू क्रिएट एनी पॉलिसी, यू कैन क्रिएट द पॉलिसी एज वेल। जैसे यहाँ पे मैं कुछ जस्ट टेस्ट डाल देता हूँ, जस्ट टू शोकेस यू, ताकि मैं आप लोगों को दिखाते चलूँ। लेट मी, सो ये फायरवॉल पॉलिसी हो गया। फिर आपने if you're going in this particular intrusion preventions, so it is going to be your, like, this is your IDS. You can go and do the IDS configuration from here, and this is going to be give the IDS policy name test, and you can go further and create the URL filtering. Anand, please mute yourself, man. Mr. Anand, request you please mute yourself. All right, so basically you can do the URL filtering. If you want to URL filtering, here you can see like URL filtering, we have advanced malware production, we have DNS security, we have TLS SL decryptions, we have policies, like summary we have. So these all are going to be possible. So by using this SD-WAN solutions, you can deploy your security as well. If you really want to deploy the security, like exact firewall feature, you can deploy that. Analytics, it is going to give the real-time telemetry data visibility. Means what is the telemetry data visibility? Means your devices are going to be send the logs to the monitoring tool. By sitting on that monitoring tool, you can analyze what is happening real time in my network, and based on that you can take an action in terms of the optimizing the policy, optimizing the network performance, optimizing the bandwidth, optimizing the any kind of the like any configuration of your any interfaces, or might be the any policy, so that it is going to work in better way. So there is a voice services also, it is going to be supported, and multi-domain IBM policy is also going to be supported. So these all any services, means whatever you want to connect the service point of view, means any kind of the connectivity, any services, any location, it's also possible. And most important, any deployment, means if you want to make the connectivity through the on-premises, cloud network, multi-tenant, you want to do automations, insights, you want to do the ML, AI-based connectivity, programmable interface, scalable, means if you want to call the API also. So how we can use the API? Let's suppose you want to use the API. So this is my vManage. Even I can do the API. API is basically known as the application programmable interface. Means how one application is going to talk to another applications. So you can see I did the API call on the vManage because yesterday I was doing some automation classes. So this is my vManage. So I show how API is going to talk with the DNS center. This is my DNS center for the SD access basically. So I showed the audience how basically we can do the, let me try to log in. So I just configure multiple API for the different verbs. Means API is the application programming interface. So by using that, I can just call and it is going to give the detail of the my devices. So this is a vManage. If I want to check more API call, let's suppose I want to check, let's see what API you available with us. So this is like one of the token we get from the device. A token is required to just, how to authenticate devices after getting a token. So this is the API call I use for the vManage, and they are going to see 200 OK is basically we are able to talk and able to get the information from devices. So if you are going to learn the CCNP, probably there is an automation chapter in CCNP, and these API, REST API in detail, you are going to understand how to interact with the API with the SD-WAN manager. So this is a part of the curriculum, and how basically we can talk to the Python script. Even I run the Pythons, and this Python is going to configure my devices. Actually, loop back. I just run the script, and this is going to talk to devices. Let's suppose I go and run this script. Probably I'm not sure this device is working or not. So you can see here, if I go, I'm running this script, and this is going to talk to devices. Might be we not this device is not reachable as of now, so that's why it's not getting a response. But earlier, when it was reachable, you can see. So I was able to configure this loopback via the Python script. See, this loopback was created from Python script. I can get multiple program run. See, I run the OSPF using the Python script. So this all possible, and this all how it is possible. You can directly talk your Python tool to the devices, or might be you can do this all thing via the API also. If I want to configure my device via the API, so there are the HTTP verbs. There are the get, post, put, patch, delete. So this is how you can talk to devices. You can make the any configuration on devices. So basically, in terms of any deployment, any kind of automation, any programmability you want to scale the network, that all possible by using this SD-WAN features. Okay, I hope it is clear. So SD-WAN is going to give any connectivity, any transport, any location, any services, any deployment. Now, let's talk about the architecture. So as I mentioned, I discussed previously also, the old name of the SD-WAN was this one. We have the vManage, like Cisco SD-WAN. Now it has been changed to the Catalyst SD-WAN. So whatever the learning might be you're going to get in future, they all are based on the Catalyst SD-WAN. But DNA is going to be same, means all concept is going to be same. Just rebranding has been happened. Means vManage become the Cisco Catalyst SD-WAN manager. Okay. So only name has been changed, but rest everything is going to be same. Means whatever the vManage was doing, my manager is going to do the same thing. I mean, you are going to get the same CLI. GUI might be you're going to get some different colors and different look and feel UI, but rest is going to be same. Analytics. If we're talking about the analytics, this is going to be again known as the V analytics is going to become analytics. vBond is known as the validator. This is the new name. vSmart is going to be changed with the controller, and Cell portal is known as the SD-WAN portal. This is the where you're going to do all the configuration for devices. And the cloud delivered Cisco SD-WAN is known as the cloud delivered Cisco Catalyst SD-WAN. So only little bit name has been changed, but core function is still going to be same. There is no much difference for the core functions. Means you are going to find documentations. These documentation are going to be used for manager, analytics, validator, controller, and the your SD-WAN portal. So what is the SD-WAN portal? Might be I will talk these devices one by one, but we have to understand SD-WAN portal. This is known as Cisco Smart Portal. Means your company have this portal access. Let me show you. Without this portal, you cannot bring any SD-WAN in a network. Let me log in so I can show you. So you just have to go below, and here is a network plug and play. You just log into the manage devices, click on the manage device, and you have to give the email of your company account, and you have to give the password and just verify this account. So guys, whenever you want to build this any SD-WAN solution, this is the first place where your inventory should be there. If the inventory is not with you, means this portal access is not with you, you cannot build SD-WAN in production. Lab, you can do that, there is no problem. Lab without it is going to work. But if you want to build any kind of the infrastructure for the SD-WAN, first you have to become the Cisco customer. I'm talking from day zero. Let's suppose the first step, your company is thinking to deploy the Cisco SD-WAN. Okay. The first step, plan to, let me make it a little bit bigger size. The first step, plan to deploy Cisco SD-WAN. Next, Cisco sales team will connect with you. Then after they will explain the product and all. And if you agree, then you take the costing and license, right? Of Cisco SD-WAN, means whatever site you want to build. So they will talk about 3-year license, 5-year license, and inventory also, and they will say the cost per devices, how many cost is going to happen. Means let's suppose cost is going to be basically per router cost, the controller cost, right? License cost, okay, and their managed services cost. What is managed services? Anyone know that? What is the managed services? Anyone have any idea what is the managed services?
So tax support वगैरह.
Yes, tax support. This is basically tax support. So basically, first you have to plan. I want to deploy my Cisco SD-WAN. So you have to reach out to sales team. Sales team is going to sell the product based on the demo and the feature. They will explain everything. Then after they will means you have to take a license for the Cisco SD-WAN per router cost, whatever the feature you want to run. That also you have to take that particular cost. And also they will charge for the managed services. Let's suppose your device is going to be any problem, so you need a tax support. So they will give 3-year, 5-year, 1-year, or 7-year kind of a tax support, which is going to be just provide the support in case of any problem. Most important, then after Cisco will create your Cisco Smart account. This is a very important. If there is no smart account, you cannot do anything. So a smart account they will create, this is a smart account. Means if there is no smart account, you cannot deploy any kind of the boxes because your inventory is going to be in a smart account. Means every inventory means your certificate for controller, Cisco routers, like whether it's a cEdge, vEdge, whatever means we have, they are going to be there. And your vBond or PNP portal means again that is going to be, hold on. So these all are going to be there. Means without certificate for the controller, you cannot onboard the controllers. Without routers, means how router is, means whatever you're going to purchase, your inventory is going to be there. They will push the inventory. Like see, for us, we have this much inventory available. Means we have the Catalyst 8000 switch in our list. We have the VH Cloud in the list, right? We have the CSR 1001V in the list. So they are the real devices, which actually cloud-based devices we just got from the Cisco, right? And these are the serial number for each devices, and this is the product ID and the product group and controller, the GoNet controller lab, it has been assigned. And this is a controller profile. GoNet lab, that's a vBond, GoNet technology lab, and there is a provisioning file also. And if you click on that, you're going to get more about what is IP address, what are the port numbers. And if you want to do a certificate for the controller, the certificate for the controller are going to be generated from here. So without this portal, you cannot get any kind of inventory. Let's suppose you purchase any devices So by default, Cisco will add the devices or they will give the serial number. You can add your devices by using two methods. You can import the CSV file what Cisco is going to give. Just simply import that file. Your all serial number is going to be start populating on the your Cisco Smart portal. Or you can do one thing. You can enter the manually. If you want to do it manually, then you can just go here and click the devices, serial number, product ID. Like suppose, let me see. So see, VH 1000. Let's suppose I want to add, and the public key you have to give, control profile you have to give, and then descriptions. Then they will just add your this device in this your list. So you can use any time for the activation, certification, whatever you want to do that. So
Sir,
it
what is controller profile?
sorry, control
Uh,
profile. This one, right?
yeah. Yes,
This
yes.
control profile, it is going to be assigned for your company. See, this is a control
Okay,
profile. This is a GUINET lab, and this control profile is basically your vBond detail. Nothing more than that. Means
okay,
your vBond is going to be there. See, this is a vBond. See, controller type vBond. So every device is going to must be authenticated from this vBond.
ओके।
Okay, I will
सर
talk here.
सर एक चीज और, जैसे कि अगर मुझे मेरा नेटवर्क पहले से चल रहा है ट्रेडिशनल पे और मुझे एसडी वैन डिप्लॉय करना है, तो ये माइग्रेशन स्ट्रेटेजी भी सिस्को देती है या इंटरनल कंपनी वाले डिजाइन करते हैं?
They will give that, but even you can design by internally. I will talk one of the examples also later on. Okay, Swant? How it is
ओके,
going to happen migration strategy also for non-SD-WAN to SD-WAN.
ओके,
Generally, they have the best practices, so you have to follow. Or being SD-WAN engineer architect, you should design your own, but by leveraging the Cisco best practices as well. Okay, Swant?
ओके,
All
ओके,
right. So this is the controller profile. You must have to be there. That is going to unique assign for your organizations. Now, this is what it's the controller profile. This is the smart portal. Now the next thing, let's understand what are the devices available in our section and why these devices are very important. Like we have the data plane, we have the control plane, we have the management plane. So there are a lot of devices you see here. These devices are used for different plane. So let's just start with the first, the management plane or orchestration plane and the control plane. There are total four devices are going to be there. The first device is going to be known as the vManage. It's called to manager. New device is known as a manager. Second is basically vBond. This is known as the validator. Third is going to be vSmart, known as the controller. So this is the device which is going to be always in your brain, right? In this level. And they are going to take all kind of the intelligence work. Means if you want to apply the policy, if you want to validate any devices, if you want to do configurations, this is the device which is going to be do all your action. But they have the different role and different kind of the definition to just complete the configuration. So if I talk the very first device manager, so manager is just think about he's the boss of the network. Without this manager, you cannot do any troubleshooting, any configuration, any kind of the onboarding of the devices. Means configuration is needed, and this configuration must be going on the manager part. Validator is going to be validate. Means think this is going to act as a company HR, and if HR is not going to allow to enter inside of the company, C is unable to validate, you cannot go and enter in the company. Analytics is going to give the real-time visualization, alert, monitoring. Even the vManage also have, but it's going to give the deep level of alert. And the most important controller. This is dedicated to routing. I will do the deep discussion, routing and policy. So every device have the different roles. And the last data plane, these are the actual routers. These routers can be your vEdge and can be your cEdge. But we have to understand what is a vEdge and what is a cEdge. They are actually going to connect your branch location sites where your LAN connectivity is going to happen. And based on that LAN, you're going to be make sure end-to-end traffic is going to be forwarded. So I will just simplify step by step all the rules regulation, but let's understand in deeper side what is a vManage and what is the role of vManage. So see, if you talk about the vManage, that is the part of the management plane, and this known as the Cisco Catalyst SD-WAN manager. And this vManage is basically single pane of glass for day 0, day 1, and day 2 operation. What does mean? The mean, whenever you want to start deploying your SD-WAN after portal. Portal is the very first thing. Your portal must be there before you do anything. This portal must be with you. If this portal is not there, you cannot deploy any SD-WAN solution. So this portal is going to require. Then after you have to deploy the vManage. This vManage is going to be start doing the any configuration. Means first you have to build the vManage. Means start doing a day 0 configuration. Means from scratch that vManage, and then you can keep adding the additional configuration day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, whatever the requirement is going to be required for your network, that all are going to be keep added in your network. So this is the SD-WAN first operation. Now, this also support multi-tenant with a web skill. What does mean multi-tenants? Multi-tenant means there are single tenant. Single tenant means this resource is going to belong to one company. Just think about, you have a, if you have the if you're the traveler, you might be going to find the paying guest stay, right? Paying guest stay means there are a shared room where multiple people are going to stay and they're going to share the same room, right? But if you are going to get the hotel, so there are dedicated rooms are going to be there. So if you are going to dedicated room, you have to pay more, but you are going to get more privacy. Okay, because your room is belong to you. Whatever you want to do that, nobody is going to understand, nobody is going to see, because your lock is going to be there and you are going to be completely isolated, and without your permission nobody is going to enter in the dedicated room. But in the PG shared room, what is going to happen? Even you are talking loud, your colleague are going to be disturbed. If you are saying something very confidential, it might be, it's going to be leaked to other people also, but your cost is going to be lower. So similarly, what happened in the SD-WAN? In one instance, they can divide the multiple vManage, and the first vManage is going to be allocated to customer 1. Second vManage is going to be access to customer 2. Third is going to be customer 3. So your resource is one, right? Your infra is one, but logically it's divided into three parts. You can think in this way. You might know about the VRF. The router we have, this is the router. This router having the one routing table, that is the global routing table, right? This global routing table, that means entire resource of the routing is going to belong to the one customer. But I want to split this routing table into multiple routing table. Then how it is possible? I will create the VRF. So one is definitely going to be global routing table, but rest I can create the VRF A, VRF B, VRF C. The moment I will create this VRF A, VRF B, VRF C, these routers routing tables means one router, this routing table, VRF A is not going to talk to VRF B, VRF B is not going to talk to VRF C, and VRF C is not going to talk to global, and the A, B also not going to talk to global. That means your completely isolation has been happened, but your hardware is basically one. Same way multi-tenant is going to happen. Means you have the shared infrastructure, means Cisco have the shared infrastructure. On that shared infrastructure, multiple tenant is going to be created for different customers, and those tenants are going to be assigned with the different resources, but it is not dedicated to you. It's kind of the paying guest shared room services, so your cost is going to be lower. So some customer of these solutions multi-tenant, or might be, let's suppose you buy one of the vManage, okay, instance, and you have a three region. One is the APAC region, one is the EMEA region, right? And one is the USA region. So you want to just divide this three tenant in three part. This is going to be APAC, this is going to be EMEA, this is going to be USA. So even you isolated the tenant Means the we manage infrastructure resources for the different region, which is going to be helpful in term of the just manage your configuration and operations. So I hope you guys understand the multi-tenant, right?
सर
How it works.
सर ये कंट्रोलर ऑन प्रेम डिप्लॉय होता है क्या?
Yes, on prime also we can deploy this controller on prime. Also we can deploy in our lab. We are deploying the on prem only.
सर और दूसरी चीज, हम मल्टी टेनेंट हम वी मैनेज यूज करेंगे तो इसका कंट्रोलर भी मल्टी टेनेंट होगा या सेपरेट होता है हर कस्टमर के
नहीं,
लिए?
controller are going to be separate. Controller are going
ओके
to be separate. Validator are going to be separate. Only we manage having the feasibility where you can create the multi-tenant. Single dashboard is going to be allocated for the different kind of the regions or different customers by using the different login ID.
ओके सर, तो वी मैनेज में जो हम सेपरेट करते हैं वो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ वीएम ही करते होंगे ना, अलग
Right.
अलग?
No. They are not based on the VMs. We have the single instance. Based on the single instance, you have to configure the multi-tenancy. You
ओके
don't have to do on the based on the VM. Let me go
So
here.
kind of a virtual machine, right? In that virtual machine, they will give us some spaces.
Right. But there is a feature in the multi-tenancy. Let me show you. See, tenancy mode, single tenancy, you see there, na? So if you want to make this vManage a multi-tenancy, so you just have to click on the multi-tenancy and it's going to act as a, so you have to give a domain and cluster ID to just define this multi-tenancy. So we have to create this. So vManage, let's suppose I deploy this vManage in hypervisor. Suppose this is the vManage deploying the hypervisor. Let's take an example. So let me show you. This is the hypervisor, ESXi. In this hypervisor, I'm running one of the vManage. There is no vManage. Give me 1 second. Let me log in another server. So this is one of the vManage. This vManage having a CPU 26, memory 64, right? So this the hardware has been assigned to this vManage, right? So this is single resource, single vManage, but I can do this vManage in the multi-tenancy. How? I need the IP address, and what is IP address? 107. So I can log in this. Anand, please mute yourself, man. There is background noise. So you can go here, log into this, and now you have to convert this vManage into multi-tenancy mode. Let me show you. So resource are going to be always same. It's not going to be changed. Settings. Then go down. See here, single tenant. But you want to make it the multi-tenants, you have to go and change here. So resource is not going to be same. Resource is not going to be changed. Resource you can define one time. That's going to be prerequisite. And after that, you can split that we manage for the multi-tenant mode for the, because it's going to be just web access is going to be different for different customers or different regions. All right. Now,
ओके सर.
it's going to give the centralized provisioning. Means your vManage is going to give the centralized provisioning. Means by sitting on the vManage, you can create the configurations. Means any template, any policy. See, these are template. Template are basically to create the any configuration, BGP configuration, OSPF configurations. You want to run any kind of the OMP configuration, VPN configuration, TLOC configuration. So might be it's a new term for everyone, but we are going to be understand what are these terms. But if you go here and see that these all are available. Let's suppose I search for the VH Cloud. See, these are the configuration, AAA configuration, BFD, archive, NTP, OMP, security, system, SIG configuration, VPN configuration, interface configurations, banner, BGP, bridge, DHCP services. So everything you want to create, you have to create from the GUI. And this GUI is going to be done from the template, feature template, device template are there. So these all are going to be there. Even you want to create the policies like centralized policy, localized policy. This also are going to be created on the your dashboard. So this centralized policy, centralized provisioning for the configuration and policy and template. Means everything from the site point of view, your SD-WAN fabric point of view, these all are going to be created on the your vManage, and this vManage is going to be just act as a central management tool. By using that, you can do all configuration to troubleshoot, configure, and monitor the services. Means even it is going to give the monitoring logs. Let's suppose I want to check any monitoring logs, events, what is happening in my vEdge. This is going to generate the events. Audit logs, it is going to give the audit logs. ACL logs, it is going to give the ACL logs. Even the alarms. Right now we don't have any alarm, but let me customize for 7 days. See, so we have the alarms for last 7 days, right? Similarly, if you go for the events, last for 7 days, you're going to get more events. So you can check.
Sir, user usage also will get, right, the details.
Sorry, Anand.
User usage details.
User details. What was user details?
The client, whatever they are using, like how many sites are they are visiting and how many utilization, like the
Yeah,
total
I'm
amount.
going to show that also.
Yeah.
So this is the alert where any link is getting down, any kind of the any changes is doing on the network. Somebody is doing any changes. So you can find his name, what he did basically changing on the devices. So all logs are going to be there, right? If you want to troubleshoot, definitely I will do the deep dive later on. So you can do the troubleshooting like ping, you want to do a trace, this all possible. Let's suppose I'll go on the one of the VS devices, this one, go in the real time. After going in real time, see, if you want to get the top talker bandwidth link, so you are going to get all link utilization, who is doing what, WAN throughput you can get from here. You can get, right now we don't have any graph because we don't have any kind of the like utilization of the site. If you want to check the interfaces, which interface, how much traffic we have, and this is what you're asking, right? So traffic you can get from here.
Yes.
You can get the application, deep packet inspection application, and you want to do the deep troubleshooting, firewall troubleshooting also you can do from here. But you want to do the troubleshooting into a deep, like you want to do a trace, ping, this all possible. I will show you later. So if you want to do a troubleshooting, trace, ping, simulate path, tunnel health, device bring up, control connection, view live. So you can get everything from the dashboard point of view. You don't have to go anywhere. Even you want to do a telnet or SSH for devices, you can by setting on the same location. If you want to take SSH of devices, just click on that. It is going to give the SSH of devices without any problem. See, I can directly take the SSH for devices from setting on the my vManage. So I can simply log in from here as well. So you don't have to do any kind of the like you don't have to go on any jump server. You have to do telnet, SSH to get login on devices. Simply sitting on the vManage, you can do everything whatever you want to do that. That is known as the troubleshooting centralized policy monitoring. Okay, I hope it is clear, right? Multi-tenancy, what is centralized provisioning, what is the policy and template, troubleshooting and monitoring. Also, if you want to do the any kind of software upgrade process, means any device, this is the beautiful and the one of the important feature of the vManage, means you don't have to be depend on the any site location. Somebody go on the remote location, upload the iOS, download the iOS from the internet, make the TFTP, then you transfer the file. No, you simply download from the internet from your local PC. You can put on the Cisco vManage repository database, and after that you can upgrade the devices directly from here. You just go upgrade, select the devices you want to upgrade. This device you can upgrade by clicking it. You just require the OS version. Right now we don't have the OS version. If you want to do for the controller, you can do for the controller like validator, like vSmart. If you want to do for the vManage, vSmanager, manager, you can do for that also. So this all possible by using this vManage, right? Also, you can use the REST conf, net conf. As I mentioned that this is an API call. Means I want to do any API call, I can find the API. Like if you go on the internet and you go and find the Cisco API, might be somewhere here. There's the SD-WAN API, see, Catalyst SD-WAN API. So you might don't know how the API is going to work, but they use the HTTP verb like post, get, delete, put. These are the verbs they are going to use. Means API is like by one program you're going to talk to another program. So its API is going to act as a broker. Take an example. You are in the restaurant. You are in the restaurant. You are on the table and you want to order some food. The restaurant kitchen is going to be there. This is the restaurant kitchen. The better in between you, they will take your order, they will go in kitchen and they will bring your order to you and you go and enjoy your food. So it's similar to the API. API is nothing. REST API or netconf protocol. They are basically acting as a broker between the client and the server. Whatever request you want to put, by API you put, they will go on behalf of you, talk to server, bring information to you. If you want to do any configuration on here, you can do in terms of the networking. So this API is also going to be supported, and by using this API, you can do different calls, and this is known as the REST and netconf configuration. So always in the SD-WAN, you are going to find this netconf. Means whenever your devices are going to communicate, let me draw one simple topology so you guys can understand. So you have the vManage. It's very important. You have the vSmart. That's the validator. It's a manager. Let me put the name. It's a no, it's not validator. It's a controller. We want validator. And they are routers. Router 1. This is basically going to be either vEdge router or cEdge router. Router 2. This might be your vEdge router, cEdge router. So one thing you have to understand, if you want to configure this router, you can configure this router via locally, but this is not recommended, right? In SD-WAN, you don't have to do local configuration on router. You have to do every configuration on the vManage. Means if you want to create any policy, any configuration, you always have to do one on the vManage. So how vManage going to talk to these routers or the controllers? Means any device. For the vSmart also you have to do from the vManage only. For vBond also you have to do the vManage. So they will talk via a special tunnel. This tunnel is known as the TLS or DTLS. What is TLS? Transport layer security. DTLS is datagram transport layer security. This work on the transport layer. That is a layer 4. By using this DTLS or TLS, TLS is basically based on the TCP. DTLS is based on the UDP. You guys can write this, all right, okay? It's very important. TLS is going to based on the TCP. DTLS is going to based on the UDP. So in between vManage and the router, whatever the configuration you are pulling that, they use a tunnel to make the security. This tunnel is going to give the highly secure tunnel. Means the data you are sending from the tunnel, that is not going to be compromised from anyhow. Then after they use the protocol, this is known as the netconf. By using the Yang data modeling, right? So this netconf is going to be a protocol which is going to be transfer your configuration to the end devices. you can realize, let's suppose you have to configure the router. How you configure the router? Anyone can tell me? What is the method we can configure the router?
Via telnet.
Yes, via telnet or SSH. These two protocol, right? So we telnet the router, SSH router, then we can take the putty software, and under putty we put the command, and then by this telnet SSH protocol is going to transfer that command to the routers, right? Same way in SDN network, we have the netconf. Netconf is going to talk to device and put the information inside the devices. So similar telnet SSH has been replaced with the your netconf. Let me show one of the PPT. I must have that PPT. Give me 1 second. See, so if I go here netconf is nothing. You talking to the routers by using the telnet or SSH, right? Similarly, the device is going to talk with the network configuration protocol. Again, they are going to be make the connectivity from client to server. Whatever information you want to do that, it is going to send. You want to retrieve, it is going to retrieve. But they are going to use the protocol netconf with the YANG data modeling, and the language, the way the configuration is going to push or pull, that is a XML format. What is XML format configuration? This format is known as XML. You see, this is the XML format. Let me change the XML format. So this is the XML format. See, right now I'm talking to my vManage. I'm talking to my vManage, and vManage is giving my XML format. So devices are going to support JSON format, HTML formats, XML format. So every devices are going to be different kind of the database, and they support different kind of the language. But in the SD-WAN, you are going to be always get the data. Means whenever you configure any data, this configuration, let me show you. If I am in the vManage and I'm doing any policy configuration, not policy, let me see the policy. Review the policy. This is the policy. I can read this policy, but this policy, when going to be pushed to devices, this policy is going to convert in the XML format in the YANG data modeling. And netconf is going to carry this policy under the TLS and DDLS tunnel. Is it clear to everyone? Give me thumbs up, guys, if it is clear to everyone. How this is going to be happen? Because most of the engineer always unaware about this. Most of the engineer, they are not aware what is the basic things in communications. Now this is the one part for the API. This is the netconf. RESTconf is totally different. RESTconf is where it is going to use the API. Means that they use the API and based on the HTTP verbs. What is HTTP verbs? Whenever you want to connect any website, they follow the CRUD function. CRUD means create, read, update, and delete. These are the functions. This is part of the CCNP or CCI. All right. If you go to learn the automations, they are the baby step. You must have to know that. Any API call, any automation you want to do that, you must know how the CRUD is going to work. So CRUD is basically nothing. If you want to, let's suppose, this is your router. This is your vManage. Okay. Or not router, this is the PC. Okay. This is your PC, and you want to talk to vManage. You want to talk to vManage. Means you want to get some info. Let's suppose you want to take the BFD status or interface status for the any devices or routing interface. So you only going to get the read-only access. So you have to type the gate, means gate verbs, gate, and then you have to call the API URL. So here is going to happen. Gate function is there, going to be there, means you're getting the informations, read-only information. Then you have to call the API, then it is going to bring your informations. Like you can see right now, I'm getting the information in the XML format from my device. But let's suppose I want to config some changes. From this PC, I want to config something on the vManage. Let's suppose I want to change the host name for the vManage. Very small host name. So git is not going to work. I need to run the command post. And I have to define my data type. My data is going to be JSON data type. or XML data site. Then based on that, my XML configuration is going to be there and it is going to be change my host name. So for that, I have to use the post. So you can see these are the post method. Post is you have to edit the configuration. Means host name you have to edit, then you can edit that. Means you want to update that also. Update is also going to work. Like you can create, replace or merge the configuration. Advanced level, then it is going to be update also. Delete means by the API you want to delete something, then you have to use the delete verbs. So you guys little bit know about the API also, how this post, put, patch, delete, head option are going to be there. And you have to give some authentication username and password. You have to give the headers also. So authorizations, I can give the basic authentication username and password. And based on that, they are going to talk to devices. So see, right now I'm talking to devices and I can just, this is my XML format. So this is a vManage. You can see it's clearly mentioned that vManage, and there are a lot of things available, but it's very hard to read. Okay, so this all is possible via vManage. This support programmable interface netconf and restconf. Last but not least, it's a highly resilience. Highly resilience means you can deploy two vManage in your cluster. If one is going to be down for any region, another is going to take your role. Means there are two vManage is going to be there. So this is going to act as a primary. If it is going to down, it is going to take it as secondary. Clear? So this is the highly resilient. So it's recommended every controller must be deployed in the highly resiliences. Means anyone is going to be down for any region, another is going to take a role. Now, any question guys regarding the vManage? I hope I'm able to explain everything to everyone.
So is there any simulation or lab facilities available in SD-WAN?
Yes, yes. This is the lab you are going to get. Everyone is going to get lab for 2 months for this session.
No, not for this lab.
हाँ
सपोज मुझे कुछ सिमुलेट करके देखना है, कोई पाथ चेंज करना हो या फिर कुछ भी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन मुझे लैब में टेस्ट करना हो किसी भी मैनेज या सीएस के रिगार्डिंग,
हाँ
जैसे टैग करते हैं ना अपने पास कोई लैब किसी भी चेंजेस के पहले कि हम
So
लैब करके देखें.
Amarjit, there is only two options.
Okay.
You can build your own lab, or you have to take the lab rental. No other way around we have. If you're going to build your own lab, you minimum require 64 GB RAM. Okay.
नहीं, मैं कुछ और पूछना चाह रहा हूँ. मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि एसडी वैन में इंक्लूडिंग कोई लैब फीचर है क्या जिससे हम
बिल्ट
कुछ
इन
भी
लैब पूछ
सिमुलेट.
रहा है सर, ये बिल्ट इन एसटी वैन का कोई ऐसा फीचर है जो बिल्ट इन लैब फैसिलिटीज देता है इस
No,
टाइप
there
से?
is no lab facility in the SD-WAN. You have to do your all configurations by manually. There is no built-in feature.
ओके,
Step by step
लाइक
you have to
सिमुलेशन.
deploy.
सिम
Simulation is path simulation. You can do that. How traffic is going on, but there is no built-in feature where you can go and do that testing for your any kind of the use cases. You can do that path simulation. That feature is available. If you go in the real time troubleshooting, you can simulate the flow. That's only option available. How your traffic is going on, which link is going on. But there is no built-in lab feature where you can deploy something or you can test something. If you
सर
just
जैसे
commit the changes,
तो दिस इज फॉर ओनली VPN वाइज वी कैन चेक.
yes, yes.
सर जैसे सिस्को में एम्बेडेड पैकेट कैप्चर होता है, इस एसडी वैन में पैकेट कैप्चर करने के लिए हमें नेट फ्लो ही कॉन्फ़िगर करना पड़ेगा?
Right, right. There are the method I will tell you. There are the CLI based var log also you can capture. That is going to give entire packet information for your devices.
हाँ, वो जूनिपर में होता है, लेकिन जैसे सिस्को वालों एम्बेडेड कैप मॉनिटर कैप्चर करके करते थे ना वो 1K में, इस टाइप से मैं पूछ रहा था. कुछ ट्रबल शूटिंग पॉइंट में होता
We'll
है ना
talk.
कुछ
There is a provision. There is a provision. You don't have to take a packet capture. Everything is there. In log point of view, you're going to get everything log, real time. You don't have to be worry about that. Amarjit, please mute yourself. Amarjit, lot of noise from your side.
नहीं सर,
So
अगर कोई ट्रबल शूटिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में होता है ना, कभी कभी कोई ट्रैफिक मतलब ड्रॉप हो रहा है तो मतलब चेक करना पड़ता है कि हमारे इंटरफेस पे ट्रैफिक हिट कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है, तो उसके लिए हम लोग पैकेट
that is the
कैप्चर.
firewall case. That is the firewall case. In network case, you're always going to take the, like, you have to enable the packet capture wireshark, you have to enable, then only you're going to get that. Generally, on the firewalls, you have to see the traffic is hitting on the interface. You have to apply the debug and capture. So in SD-WAN also, there is the advanced packet capturing tool. We can use that, and that is going to capture your all log in the debug section in the war lag on the CLI. So there is a section in the war log where every packet information is going to be there. So that is going to give the advanced level of the packet capturing features, and that is going to helpful to just deep dive whether my packet is coming or not. Rest,
Okay.
see, you have to do testing. See, these are the controllers. Your traffic is not going to hit on the controller. Very first thing, I want to very clarify on it. Your none of the user traffic is going to hit on the controller. Okay, your traffic is going to hit on the routers. Okay, let's suppose this PC is want to talk to this PC, means this router. This traffic, data traffic, never going on the controller. This traffic from the controller is going to be known as the control plane connections. This traffic is no actual data. These are just the control plane like routing. Data is going to travel here. So you have to capture on this interface, router interface. So router interface, I will guide you how you can check the real time logs where traffic is coming or not. If you want to do the deep dive, how we can enable the net flow, flexible flow. There are the process. We can capture the packet by using this feature. Let me tell you the feature. The dedicated feature available in the SD-WAN. You can capture every traffic. This feature is known as the C-float. See, this is going to capture your all traffic from the interface point of view. Means anything. I will show the how policy is going to be created. This is similar to the net flow. Means you're going to see what IP traffic is coming, what bandwidth it is utilizing, what is the top talker. This all information you can get from this list. So one thing is
Okay.
very clear. Your traffic is not going to hit actual data on the controller. That is the one thing. So I will explain one by one everything. Your traffic is going to hit router to router. So you have to take capture on the router, and there is a provision, might be you see in the net flow is the protocol which is going to use the give the real time all IP detail which is coming on the interface. Make sense? Yes, one?
Yes. Can you filter on the basis of IP also on that?
Yes. IP also we can filter. Net flow you can do that, na? Same feature
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
apply here. Net flow is known as a C float in the SD-WAN. Same name we have to enable on the routers, and we can filter all what IP is coming, what port traffic is coming. That all you can get from the interface.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
can we integrate Wireshark with the SD-WAN?
Why you need Wireshark? Tell me the use case. We can integrate, but why you need Wireshark?
For capturing the data, capturing the packets?
So we have the feature, na? That is the already inbuilt feature available C float.
Okay.
There is an
Or
inbuilt feature.
can we get a chance to upgrade the iOS in the lab?
iOS is not possible to upgrade. That's required real hardware because there is a virtual images. But I will tell how the process is going to happen to upgrade the iOS. But you cannot upgrade live iOS because these are virtual devices. So to upgrade the virtual images, you have to just download the new virtual images and you have to upload in the VM. So I can tell the process that one how it is virtually going to be upgraded. Means in virtually what have to happen means you have to just simply download the virtual image and you have to deploy in the new VM, and that is going to be upgraded. In a
Okay.
physical, there is a process we can deploy the iOS. I have the one of the router in front of me. That is a 4300 series of router. I will try for that. I will see that is SD-WAN supported router hardware to upgrade that particular iOS model also, Sandeep. Okay, later on.
Okay. That would be great. Thank you.
Okay. Moving further, guys, we have the first understand this all function one by one. Then we'll talk more about that operation point of view. We have the second plane that is known as the orchestration plane. This orchestration plane is basically your validator. This is known as the vBond. This is known as the vBond. So what is the vBond? vBond is also known as the validator. See, without this vBond, you cannot onboard any devices in the fabric. It's acting as a HR. HR of your company. Let's suppose you have the offer letter. This offer letter you are getting from any organizations, and when we go for the joining to the company, the very first point of contact is going to be your HR. She or he is going to validate your offer letter. They will validate your document, like might any kind of the national identity, like passport, might be Aadhaar card or any kind of the government ID, anything. They are going to just validate. And after validating all your educational qualification, they will allow to enter the company. All right. So similar way in SD-WAN, what is going to happen? Any device are going to join the fabric. Let's suppose in this topology, this router want to join this fabric. Fabric is nothing. It's like your network infrastructure where all SD-WAN devices are going to communicate to each other. That's the meaning of fabric. So whenever he want to join, this device want to join to the SD-WAN fabric, very first thing, he need to prove his identity to the vBond. He will validate you are really legitimate to join this fabric or not. If it is not going to be legitimate, it will not allow to join the fabric. So this vEdge is going to check step by step everything. What is your serial number? What is your certificate? Right? What is certificate? And based on that serial certificate, they are going to be allowed to join the fabric if it is going to match in their repository. How? Based on your PNP portal. Because PNP portal have the all devices information, means what is there? The serial number, and they will generate the unique certificate for each devices, and based on that they will allow. So vBond is going to be act as your orchestration control plane and management plane. First point of the authentication means it is going to validate you, and it is going to distribute list of the controller manager to all vManage routers. Means once you are going to be authenticated by the controller, this device is going to be distribute your WAN list devices, means to whom you want to connect and what are the controller to whom you need to talk. So you must have to first authenticate, like you go in the company, your HR is going to authenticate you. After authenticating, they will assign your manager, team lead, and they will introduce your teammates as well. So similar way, your vBond here is going to be first authenticate. After authenticating, it will just go and say what are the controller you have and how you can communicate to other VH devices. So this is all information going to distributed by your VH. This also facilitate the net traversals. One of the feature that is known as the net traversals, where might be your one VH is behind the NAT devices, another is just normal behind the public IP address. So you want to make the connectivity end to end for the control plane and data plane. So your NAT traversal feature is going to be there. So this mapping is going to carry by your vBond. That is going to be required all one-to-one NAT mapping in the controller. This is also going to be very highly resilience, means your devices are going to be down for any region, controller are going to be down, means validator are going to be down. You should have the backup of the validator, which is going to be basically give the resiliency in terms of the any failure. So these all feature of the orchestration plane. Major feature means whenever you want to onboard any devices, very first thing you must have to be validate. Means your identity must have to proof. If identity is not going to proof, you are not going to be authorized to allow the connectivity. That's it. Any doubt here in orchestration plane? vBond?
अभी सीरियल नंबर VH का डिवाइस का जो इन्वेंटरी सीरियल नंबर वो है या हमको यूनिकली प्रोवाइड कराता है ड्यूरिंग
No, this
रूट
is the
सर्टिफिकेशन?
auto-generated, Amarjit. This is going to be auto-generated. Means whenever going to purchase devices, they will get the unique serial number of every devices. You don't have to give unique serial number. Means Cisco will give every device unique serial number, and that is going to be registered on the PNP portal. Certificate is going to be there. That is, you can use the third-party certificate or you can use your own certificate. Clear, Amarjit?
Yes.
Okay. Now moving the next one. Next device is basically that is known as the Cisco SD-WAN controller. This is nothing. This is basically your vSmart. This vSmart is basically going to be help to complete your all routing decisions. Means without vSmart, you cannot do any routing decisions. Means any kind of the fabric discovery in terms of the routes. That's vSmart controller is going to be there, which is going to be inform all VHs how to reach from one site to another site by exchanging the routing informations. It's also responsible for the policy. Means any control policy, data policy is going to be created the vManage. It is going to be reached to SD-WAN vSmart, that is the your controller. And this is further going to be make the intelligence which route need to propagate to which VH and which route need to be filtered from the vSmart point of view to not propagate to any VHs. So basically it's going to act as a central hub as a route reflector. In BGP, you know that route reflector means everyone is going to reach to me and I will decide which route need to be sent to which device and which route no need to be sent to another devices. So that's why implement the control plane policies such as the service chaining, multi-topology and multi-hop. And also it is going to distribute data plane and application of a routing policy to the vanish routers. Dissimulate control plane information between the vanish routers.
इसको
Means
एक्सप्लेन करना थोड़ा डिस्ट्रीमुलेट वाले को.
dissimulate control plane means your routing information. Means let's suppose any router is going to be have some LAN subnet. Okay, let me explain in this way. Control plane is just your routing informations.
Yeah. बट
Means your
राउटिंग
LAN
इंफॉर्मेशन इज टेकन केयर बाय वी स्मार्ट, राइट? ये वैनेज के पास तो जाता नहीं है राउटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन, कंट्रोल
जाता
प्लेन तो
जाता.
रख.
There is a LAN 10.10.0/24. Okay, there is another VH. There is a LAN 192.168.10.0/24. So if they want to talk, how they're going to talk? Their routing must be going to the controller,
कंट्रोलर.
and he is going to dissimulate this routing information to another VH. Okay,
इसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट ही कह सकते हैं ना, डिसिमुलेट मतलब
मतलब
डिस्ट्रीब्यूट.
डिसिमुलेट में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट ही करना होता है और क्या. दैट इज सेम मीनिंग. सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट टू अदर द एजेस कि भाई इस सबनेट का राउटिंग को जाने का क्या तुम्हारा तरीका. टी लॉग क्या, टी लॉग के बारे में बताता हूँ अभी. टी लॉग क्या होता है? टी लॉग. तो फाइनली दे आर गोइंग टू बिल्ड आईपी सेक टनल एंड देन दे आर गोइंग टू टॉक टू ईच अदर. ठीक है. सो दिस
ओके.
इज गोइंग टू डिसिमुलेट द कंट्रोल इन्फॉर्मेशन बिटवीन द वैनेज राउटर्स. सो एक वैनेज का इंफॉर्मेशन दूसरे वैनेज को डिसिमुलेट करना, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ योर वी स्मार्ट. विदाउट दिस राउटिंग यू कैन नॉट वर्क. अभी मैं बताता हूँ कैसे होता है पूरी चीजें.
वो दूसरे और तीसरे पॉइंट में ना डिस्ट्रीब्यूट लगा, दूसरे में डिसिमुलेट, तो मुझे लगा कुछ डिफरेंसेस है क्या.
नहीं, देयर इज नो डिफरेंस. डेटा प्लेन एंड ऐप ये पॉलिसी के बारे में बात कर रहा है. पॉलिसीज, डेटा प्लेन कंट्रोल, ये पॉलिसी की बात कर. मींस देयर आर द राउटिंग इन पॉलिसी. टू टर्म इज देयर. Routing is going to use the OMP routing protocol. From that, you can use that any routing exchange between the branches. Policies basically is going to give the intelligence. Likewise in BGP, आप लोग जब भी बनाते हो
राउट
ये.
मैप टाइप का, राउट मैप टाइप का वही
हाँ,
होता है.
you create the route map, you create the prefix list, right? Or you can create the inbound filtering, outbound filtering. Similar way, exactly similar way in the SD-WAN, the SD-WAN is going to use the data and the control plane policy, and based on that it is going to apply the inbound and outbound. I will show later on जब हम policy बात करेंगे तो कैसे होता है. So this is responsible by the vSmart. बाकी actually the one single control protocol we have, that is OMP. So जो complexity है, like whatever we have a complexity in the legacy WAN, where you're going to use the BGP, MPVGP, MPLS, OSPF all together. We don't have to do troubleshooting in that much. Single protocol is the OMP is going to be there, and OMP is going to exchange every routing. So basically your control plane complexity is going to be reduced, and it's also required the higher resilience. Means it's recommended your network have the multiple controller to just give the control connectivity. All right. So this is about the vSmart, that is a third controller. Now, after that, we have the last device that is known as the my data plane device. This is the actual routers. These routers are basically end devices where your LAN or data center is going to be connected. Means this location I'm talking. vManage router provide the secure data plane with the remote vManage. Means if you want to make the connectivity from one to another branch, then they are going to build the secure connectivity. How? From here to here. And these are going to be your IPsec tunnel. Right? They will get the routing information via the OMP. Means if this branch want to talk to this branch, how they will exchange the routing. They will send the routing to the vSmart, and then from the vSmart to the vEdge, they will exchange the routing, and by that they will build the IPsec tunnel and they will exchange actually data traffic. So your data traffic is always going via the IPsec tunnel. So this is your third thing. Let me back to the PPT. Means vManage router provide the secure data plane with the remote vManage router. Establish the secure control plane with the vSmart controller. Means one of your OMP tunnel, which I draw just before. This is going to be there from this vEdge to the vSmart, and this is a secure. Why secure? Because they are going to use the TLS or DTLS tunnel. I'm going to explain in detail how it is going to use, but for time you guys just note it down. Now, they also implement the data plane application aware routing policy, export. I means how this data plane application and routing policy is going to implement it, I will explain. But for timing, just note it down. Export performance statistics means any interface related utilization you want to see that, bandwidth utilization, top talker, you can just get that informations. From where? From the vManage dashboard, which we discussed earlier. We just have to go into troubleshooting sections and you can get all top token informations. You're going to get what is the current utilization, how many packets is going to there, that everything is possible. They leverage protocol like OSPF, BGP, and EIGRP. Means on the vEdge or cEdge, you want to connect the any legacy protocol. That also possible. You can run the BGP, OSPF, EIGRP. vEdge doesn't support the EIGRP, but if there is a cEdge, you can run the EIGRP as well. But BGP OSPF is going to be supported. Now they support the zero-touch provisioning. And what is the zero-touch provisioning? We'll have dedicated chapter on that. I will explain how zero-touch provisioning is going to happen. Means you just plug in the routers, give the power, connect the LAN WAN cable, and it will automatically go into onboard. That is also possible. They have the zero-touch deployment. Like you can make the physical router deployment, and you can make the virtual router deployment also. Means if you're purchasing with the Cisco as a physical box, you can deploy that also. And you want to deploy as a virtual like in the VM infrastructure, that is also possible. You can do that, right? So these all interfaces also available. Like you can going to get in a physical infrastructure 100 MB interface. We're going to get 1 GB interface, 10 GB interface, and 100 GB interface. These all also possible. So the router which is going to be end of the route means end of the router and the branch location, they are going to act as a data plane, and this is going to provide the end connectivity to the switches, going to leverage the OSPF, BGP, IGP protocol, and also they are going to exchange the routing information and build the IPsec tunnel. So I hope you guys at least understand the controllers and the routers. Now let me summarize the whole operations before I go and explain the next slide. Any question till here, guys? Anyone? Okay, so let
No.
me summarize how this entire operation is going to happen. So one thing is you have the controller, right? Control plane devices. And another G we have the data plane devices. So let me put it here. This is going to be your data plane. On data plane, we are going to use the routers. So router 1. Let's suppose we have the different branch. This is the branch 1 router. Router 2. Router 3. This is the branch 3. Now, we have the controller. This is my first controller. vManage. vSmart. vBond. All right. How the communication is going to happen? In between, we have the ISP. Just take the internet for time being. So very first thing, this internet must be make the underlay connectivity to the controller to the router. These all must be connected. So you have to first build underlay connectivity. This is the prerequisite. If there is no underlay connectivity, you cannot do anything. Clear? After making underlay connectivity, what is going to happen? This vManage is going to build a tunnel to the VH router. Okay. This also going to build a tunnel with the vSmart. This also going to build a tunnel with the vBond. Clear? Similar, R2 is also going to do that. I'm not going to draw as diagram is going to be very bad. R3 is also going to do the same thing. I mean, the tunnel is going to be there. Another tunnel, this two is going to build a tunnel together. This also going to build a tunnel together. And this also going to build a tunnel together. All right. Now, these routers are also going to build a tunnel together. But this tunnel also going to be there. So you can say a lot of tunnels are here. So why these all tunnels are required? So as I mentioned previously, means the tunnel between the router and the controller. The router and the controller and between the controller, these are known as the control tunnel. Okay. From the router to controller, please make a note. And controller to controller. These are the your control tunnel. There is another tunnel that is known as the data tunnel. Data tunnel is only one tunnel. Router to router. Is it clear to everyone? Till here, everyone clear?
Sir,
Any
control
doubt?
tunnel is same as DTLS tunnel, right?
Yeah, I'm coming, but this is clear, right? Control and data tunnel
Yeah. Yes.
means
Yes.
where we have to build the control tunnel, where we have to build data tunnel. Control tunnel is going to be router to the controller. Means either the vManage controller is going to be basically your vManage, vBond, and the vSmart. I hope everyone clear. Let me know, guys, if you have any doubt.
Sir, hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if you talk the control tunnel, this tunnel, this control tunnel can be your DTLS, can be your TLS. DTLS is going to base on the UDP, TLS is going to base on the TCP. UDP is going to be always faster, but with less security. TCP is going to be very secure because they have to do the three-way handshake process, but they are going to be slower. So default tunnel is going to, if you're not going to be specify TCP or means UDP or DTLS TLS, default is going to be always DTLS. Means if you're not doing any manual changes, so by default SD-WAN is going to build a tunnel, that is the DTLS tunnel. Clear? One more thing. You can run a vManage to vEdge router. This can be your DTLS, can be TLS. This is possible, you can change it. From the vSmart to the vEdge router, can be TLS, can be DTLS. But any tunnel from the vBond to the vEdge router, it always going to be DTLS only, no TLS. You cannot do that TLS. But from the vManage to the router, can be DTLS, can be TLS. vSmart to the router, can be DTLS, can be TLS. But router to vBond, it's going to be always DTLS. I hope it is clear.
The reason behind is due to faster or what?
No, there is a temporary tunnel is going to be there, and it's a only outbound tunnel for the controller to the vBond. vBond never initiate tunnel to the any controller or devices, and it's a temporary temp tunnel. Just for the authentication, after that it's going to be tear down the tunnel. So it's very fast, but temporary. Now,
Okay.
in the vManage point of view also, give me yes. So if this vManage want to build a tunnel with the vSmart, it's going to make either TLS or DTLS. Clear? vManage vSmart also going to build a tunnel. It's a tunnel with TLS and DTLS possible. But if vManage want to build a tunnel with the vBond, it's going to remain always DTLS. And this also going to remain DTLS from the vSmart to vBond. So any tunnel is going toward the vBond, it is always going to be DTLS. But except vBond, whatever tunnel we have from the vManage to vSmart to router, right? These are going to be either DTLS or TLS. It's very important, so you don't be confused. Now, the tunnel between the routers, okay? The tunnel between the routers. These tunnels are known as the IPsec tunnel. So this is also going to be your IPsec. This is also going to be your IPsec tunnel. And this is known as data tunnel. Data tunnel. So router to router always going to build the IPsec tunnel. Clear? Clear till here? Any doubt? I'm going a little bit slow. I'm taking the acknowledgement because I know you guys are going to be always confused, always keep asking questions on this only.
Yeah.
So the underlay overlay tunnel is the same, like
Sorry?
the underlay tunnel and overlay.
No, underlay are different. Overlay, these are the overlay tunnel. Underlay is the connectivity. Underlay is the basic reachability. The internet you making the connectivity to the vManage to the routers. That is your underlay connectivity. Means basic reachability. Your public IP should be reachable. Then you only build the tunnels. So these tunnel are going to fall under the actually on the your overlay mode, not underlay.
Okay. Yeah, sir. If we have a connectivity, MPLS connectivity to sites, then how they work that tunnel building?
The same process for MPLS also. You make sure like your MPLS is going to provide the underlay connectivity. That is from one branch to another branch. Okay. The underlay is going to be there as a MPLS, means they are going to connect the BGP connectivity from one branch to another branch or a controller. Then after that, you have to build a tunnel DTLS and TLS based on your overlay configurations. So MPLS is going to act as a underlay, just like a basic routing connectivity. Okay, Vishu?
Yeah.
So any public internet, any MPLS in SD-WAN, they act as a underlay connectivity. Even in our diagram also, you're going to get this answer later on. You can see here. we have the MPLS, we have the internet, but both are going to build as a underlay connectivity. And on top of that, we are going to create the overlay connectivity. Clear?
Okay.
सर
That
एक
path
क्वेश्चन
path
मेरे
naming, sorry.
हाँ बताइए, हाँ एक एक
सर
करके.
Yeah,
हाँ
that path अलग है लेकिन उसका सेटअप सेम ही है.
ये सेटअप सेम है.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
सर मेरे को ये पूछना था, जब आईपी सेक भी सिक्योरिटी दे ही रहा है तो फिर डीटीएलएस क्यों लाया गया? मतलब उसके जगह पे हम आईपी सेक यूज कर सकते थे क्या, या ये डिजाइन ही है मतलब इस एसटी
नहीं
वैन का?
नहीं, that's a good question, but IPsec is for data traffic. Think about it.
या
IPsec also designed to carry the data. So are we carrying any data from the, because IPsec need to carry the payloads, okay?
यस
But these devices are not sending any payloads. We don't have any server behind of these devices. We don't have any user behind these devices, right? So we just required the bare minimum control connections.
सर, तो
जैसे
जैसे
आप
जीआरई
W,
टनल।
हाँ आई अंडरस्टैंड योर क्वेश्चन. जीआरई टनल वी कैन बिल्ड, राइट? या जीआरई टनल हमारी होती है, जैसे आप समझो कि WLC वी हैव एंड वी हैव द AP, राइट?
हम्म।
So WLC doesn't have any data, right? AP to AP you have a data. But
यस
WLC, they build a DTLS tunnel to make the secure connectivity. This is the protocol to use the control plane security. This is known as the control plane security protocol. Means going the security on the your routings, brains, communications, not on the data. Data is designed to make us secure as a GRE over IPsec or might be the IPsec. Now, बताओ यशवंत, what is the still doubt you have?
तो मुझे ठीक से तो समझ नहीं आया, मैं देखूंगा फिर से।
नहीं
और
बताओ क्या समझ नहीं आया. I will try to make you.
नहीं, जैसे मैं तो आईपी सेक तो समझ में आ गया कि आईपी सेक हम टनल बना के जो भी डेटा हम आईपी सेक के थ्रू भेजते हैं वो सिक्योरिटी के लिए यूज करते हैं।
हम्म.
जैसे वी मैनेज और राउटर में बीच में जैसे कि हम जो राउटिंग प्रोटोकॉल बनाते हैं, तो जो राउटिंग प्रोटोकॉल का डेटा है उसको ओवर द इंटरनेट सिक्योर करने के लिए ये वाला डीटीएल एक्सटर्नल यूज कर रहे हैं क्या?
Yes, right. That's a correct because see there is no only routing. आपका routing ही नहीं है. देखो routing तो अभी मैंने बताया ही नहीं. They are the tunnels. इस टनल के अंदर क्या आएगा? You sending the
ओएम।
configurations. Configuration
ओके।
यहाँ पे जो है, ठीक है. OMP यहाँ पे नहीं चलेगा. अभी आ रहा हूँ उस पे. You don't think अभी OMP यहाँ चल जाएगा. This is the tunnel. इसके अंदर मैंने क्या बताया था? You are going to use the protocol. Which
नेट
protocol?
कॉन्फ। नेट कॉन्फ।
Netconf. नेटकॉन्फ क्या करता है? दे विल पुश योर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन फाइल. तो अगर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन फाइल एज ए कंट्रोल, मतलब कॉन्फ़िगरेशन फाइल क्या है? एक तरह से डेटा है जो आपका एक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन भेज रहा है. कंट्रोल इन्फॉर्मेशन, राउटिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन हो गया, पॉलिसी हो गया. सो दिस मस्ट बी सिक्योर and there is a security protocol TLS and DTLS designed to
ओके।
just make the control connection security. There are two protocol, one is data plane security, one is the control plane security. तो इनके जो सिक्योरिटी मेंटेन करने के लिए DTLS डिजाइन किया गया और यहाँ पे IPsec डिजाइन किया गया. दैट इज द डिफरेंस. ठीक है.
ठीक है, ओके सर।
Now the vSmart is going to again run the DTLS and TLS. Under the vSmart, we are going to use the protocol. This is the
ओएमपी।
protocol OMP. So this how it is going to be secure under TLS and DTLS. And OMP is going to exchange your routing informations. We won't again not require any protocol, no any configuration, but they need to validate the serial number, chassis number to just onboard the devices. So that's why it's again DTLS and TLS. But actual data is going to be transmitted between the branch to branch. Now it's
ओके।
clear to everyone. Any doubt till here? सोचो अभी डाउट है तो बताओ. इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, क्योंकि दीज आर द बेसिक फाउंडेशन है. अगर यहाँ पे अगर नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो आप लोग हमेशा कंफ्यूज रहोगे कि भाई क्या हो रहा है और क्यों हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है.
यस सर. सर OMP थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे?
OMP एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ, OMP बता रहा हूँ, बट दिस ऑल यू अंडरस्टैंड. OMP आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन डिटेल. This all clear, na? Right. Okay. So now back to the, let me clear the diagram. So now we have the vSmart only. Okay. And we have the router 1. We have the router 2. This is the branch 1. This is the branch 2. So what is tunnel going to be there between these two routers? Control tunnel, data tunnel.
Data tunnel.
Data tunnel.
Data tunnel IPsec.
IPsec.
What is this tunnel?
TLS.
TLS. Under
Can
OMP.
be DTLS or can be TLS.
TLS.
DTLS can be TLS. Now, there is one more vSmart. Let's suppose you have. Sorry. So if I have another vSmart, do we require tunnel or not? What do you guys think?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Sync करेगा
Yes,
ना.
it is required.
the same reason it's not required to know, I guess.
No, it always going to be required. Okay? It's again going to be DLS or DTLS. And this also going to make the tunnel to the router. Clear? Now, IPsec is going to be there. Means there is a one LAN. Think about 1.1.1.1/32. They want to talk 2.2.2.2/32. If they want to talk to each other, then how they are going to talk? Means I'm giving the high level. We have to go later on low level also. But how they are going to talk? First of all, whatever the LAN information they have to advertise over the OMP. There is one protocol is known as the OMP. This OMP is known as the Overlay Management Protocol. If you're running the OMP from the vEdge, their AD is going to be 250. If you're running the OMP on the cEdge devices, AD is going to be 251. Everyone know what is a vEdge, what is cEdge? Or anyone have any doubt about the vEdge and cEdge? vEdge is viptela devices that has been purchased by the Cisco, means acquired by Cisco. cEdge is Cisco devices who support the Cisco SD-WAN images. So if you're running the OMP from the Cisco devices, AD is going to be 251, viptela 250. This OMP is going to be formed inside of these tunnels. Means, give me 1 second. Means that this tunnel is going to be there. Inside of this tunnel, just follow the red line, OMP. This is your OMP. This is your OMP. Okay. So OMP is going to be between router to vSmart. Okay. And the second OMP is going to be there, the vSmart to vSmart also. Only two place OMP is going to work. Clear? So whenever you just giving any route from the LAN, OMP is going to carry to the vSmart and vSmart acting as a route reflector, RR. And this is going to be make sure which traffic need to be sent to which device, means what are the end devices I have on which I need to send the traffic. So this RR is going to send the traffic to another vEdge router. Then it will come to know how to reach to this particular destination. And this is going to make the connectivity further via the IPsec tunnel. So you are going to get only the control information, routing information from the vSmart but you are eventually going to make the connectivity from branch to branch via the IPsec tunnel. Is this clear to everyone? Is it clear or not?
Yes.
So why
Sir,
two vSmart? If this vSmart is going to be down, let's suppose this is a primary vSmart. So he is just handling on the routing information. But if it is going to be down, then this vSmart is going to be keep exchanging the routing. So your OMP is going to be run between the vSmart to vSmart. So route is going to be synced. In case it is going to down, it's still going to serve your all requirement routing informations. So that's why you require the redundancy. So OMP only run between the router to vSmart and between the vSmart to vSmart. IPsec run only between the routers. Rest, if you are talking about the vManage, no OMP needed. vBond, no OMP needed. I hope this one is clear to everyone. No doubt. All right. I'm clearing this. Let
सर
me.
एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा।
हाँ बताइए।
सर अगर ये टनल, अगर DTLS टनल ब्रेक हो गया, तब तो वो फिर नया, अगर कोई नया सबनेट हम एडवर्टाइज करते हैं तब तो वो नहीं मतलब R2 के पास नहीं जा पाएगा।
हाँ नहीं जा पाएगा। That's correct. If my OMP session is down, there is only single vSmart for time being. आप समझो इसको, and that is dead. vSmart ही बंद हो गया, तो you cannot advertise a new subnet to any branch location. तो क्या
तो
मेरा
सर
पूरा साइट डाउन हो जाएगा? That's the next question.
सर पुराने पे तो चल जाएगा जो भी राउटिंग होगा उसके पास।
So
लेकिन
legacy.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सर, जैसे अगर वो डाउन हो गया और हम AD OMP का 250 रखे हैं और बाकी प्रोटोकॉल का लोअर AD रहता है जो ज्यादा प्रीफर करता है, तो मेरे तो वो लोअर एडी वाला प्रोटोकॉल पे बेस्ट सिलेक्शन
नहीं,
पे काम
how
करेगा।
how how S1, don't confuse yourself, right? Because अभी जो आप बात कर रहे हो, दो चीज मिक्स कर रहे हो। एक आप लेगेसी प्रोटोकॉल, दैट इज गोइंग टू वर्क डिफरेंटली, राइट? लेगेसी प्रोटोकॉल के राउट जब तक रिडिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं करो OMP में नहीं जाएगा, पहली बात। ठीक है?
हम्म।
तो वो प्रोटोकॉल अलग है, ये प्रोटोकॉल अलग है। तो अगर लेगेसी राउट भी मिल रहा होगा तो सबनेट आपके अलग होंगे। दोनों सबनेट सेम नहीं होंगे, नहीं आपके OMP के भी और के लेगेसी के भी। अगर होंगे तो आप उसको रिडिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हो OMP के अंदर, राइट? तभी दूसरे साइड पे जाएगा। So
हम्म।
if OMP is there, OMP is down, so OMP के जो कैसे राउट होंगे, that is going to be there in the routing table. We'll do the deep dive later on. जब मैं इसको लैब
ओके।
मतलब पूरा कंप्लीट करूंगा तब आपको समझ में आएगा। लेकिन सबनेट हमेशा तो यूनिक होता है ना, हर जगह का डुप्लीकेट कैसे हो जाएगा सबनेट? या तो OMP से लर्न होगा या तो IGP से लर्न होगा, तो ही हो सकता है ना कंडीशन।
हम्म।
अब दोनों से लर्न आप कराओगे तो माइट बी यू हैव सम बैकडोर एंट्री, आप बैकअप पाथ के लिए। लेकिन राउटिंग टेबल में तो एक ही इंस्टॉल, जैसे आप OMP में उसको रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट करोगे तो OMP प्रोटोकॉल बन जाएगा, तो OMP हमेशा प्रेफर्ड होगा। अगर IGP में है तो IGP वाला लेगा हमेशा। सो इसका पूरा एक साइंस है, पूरा एक लॉजिक है। देयर आर मल्टीपल VPN कॉन्सेप्ट ऑल्सो, कि कैसे ये OMP का हमारा प्रोटोकॉल अलग होगा, कैसे हमारा VPN सर्विस VPN के जो BGP OSPF के राउट होंगे, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी डिफरेंट। सो विल सी लेटर ऑन, जस्ट होल्ड ऑन फॉर थॉट, बताऊंगा कैसे होता है। अब दूसरी बात करते हैं, लेट्स हैव अ लिटिल बिट अंडरस्टैंडिंग मोर अबाउट द कंट्रोल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। मैं फिर से आप लोगों को बताता हूँ कि देयर इज अ vManage, देयर इज अ vSmart, this is the vSmart, and this is the vBond, right? In between we have the internet, and this is the router 1, this is the router 2. Okay, now you can tell me, if vManage is going to be down, what is the impact is going to happen in topology? Anyone?
कोई नया कॉन्फ़िगरेशन हम पुश नहीं कर पाएंगे, बाकी कोई इम्पैक्ट तो नहीं होना चाहिए।
What others guys, बाकी लोग बताओ। If vManage is going to be down, what is the impact is going to happen on the network?
Yes, we cannot push
Sir,
any
we,
new configuration.
yes,
No
sir,
new
we,
config possible,
yes.
कुछ भी नया नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन कोई भी आपका डेटा ट्रैफिक आपका इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा, राइट? सब कुछ ऐसे चलता रहेगा। Now V1 down हो गया, then what is going to happen?
We cannot validate new VAs.
The
No new,
authentication, new device we can't deploy in SD-WAN.
no new device on board, right?
Yes.
Still everything is going to work. Now vSmart is going to down, then what is going to happen?
Not exchange new routes between VAs to CAs, but old
No,
routes will be work. No problem.
no exchange, new route. Okay, that's correct. So if this is going to be down for forever, so my sites are going to be live forever, or we have some
नहीं
prerequisites?
सर,
No, it's
जितना
for a time being.
It's only 12 hour, ठीक है ना? By default 12 घंटे के लिए आपको जो कैसे राउट है, that is going to be support, else it is not going to work for you.
So
इस 12 घंटे के अंदर आपको
we
ठीक
can do
करना
increase the 12 hours, sir.
sorry?
We can increase the 12 hour.
No, by default it's a 12 hour, you can increase this much time. देखो दिखाता हूँ आप लोगों को. Give me 1 second. यार चलो जाओ. देखो, सो इसका जो डिफॉल्ट टाइमर होता है 4243720, राइट? 12 आवर होता है, ठीक है, डिफॉल्ट वन. बट हाउ मच मैक्सिमम यू कैन डू दैट? दिस मच, 7 day आई थिंक हो गया. सो यू कैन गेट द मैक्सिमम. हाँ, कितना होगा आवर ना? 7 days. So you can make maximum if you're in case of your vSmart is going to be down for some reason. By default, it is going to be for 12 hour if you're not doing any changes. After that, your complete lab is going, means complete your production is going to be dead because cache route is going to remove. But maximum you can do for 7 days, not more than that. So within 7 days, you have to make sure onboard everything. Clear? So no route exchange,
Yes, sir.
means no new route going to be exchanged, and up to default 12 hour, maximum 7 days. But before that, you have to make sure your all connectivity is going to be restored. And let's suppose this router is going to be down. Then what is going to happen? What impact is going to happen?
locally connected network impacted रहेगा.
Locally
Local
connected, you cannot make the connectivity remote side. Locally LAN is going to be down completely. That's all. So I hope you understand controller level, like any kind of the crisis happen, then how it is going to be impact the SD-WAN topology. Okay, so let me move to the next chapter. Now, back to the PPT. Whenever you go for deploy for these devices, what are the method to deploy that? So whatever the controller you have, the validator, manager, the vSmart controller, these are never going to be hardware device. First thing, these are only going to be software device, no hardware. Means validator, manager, controller, everything. Means you have to deploy in two method. You can deploy on premises, that is based on the ESXi. Likewise, you can see this is the on-premise deployment. What I was showing that. Let's suppose this ESXi, I am using that. Under ESXi, I can go here and I can deploy this vManage. So this is the on-premises deployment. All right, this is the same thing. Means you can deploy the ESXi or KVM. You have to purchase the physical server. under the physical server, you have to import the VM. And where you can get the VM, you have to download from the Cisco sites. You have to log in from the Cisco account, and from that you can just import those VM and you have to deploy in the ESXi. And then you can run. Similarly, you can deploy the managers, controller, and a smart also. Might be I have somewhere deployed. Let me see in the another VM. It must be there in somewhere. Let me show you. I can deploy my other controller also. See. So you can see these are the, okay, there is no Cisco DSP router, ISP router, DNS we have. Earlier they were deployed, but I believe I removed that because there was no space. But yes, I can deploy that my controllers as well. Just require the OVA file. After getting that OVA file, you can deploy that in your production in ESXi or server. That is need to be VM. All else, we have the another options. You can deploy these on the AWS, Azure. You can deploy in the any kind of the government cloud. You can certified cloud, PCI, SOC 2, ISO, C5. These are the different MSP, managed service provider for the customer hosted devices. Cisco is also giving that. So you can deploy that also in that location. It is going to give the similar kind of the good and like look and feel. So this is how your manager is going to look like. Now they are talking about demo and all. So we are not going to talk demo and all because we'll do the lab, but we have to understand TLOCs and everything in details. So let me talk something very important, which you know that there are terms you are going to get in SD-WAN. The first is OMP. The second is the IPsec. Third is the BFD. You are going to get TLOC. You are going to get the VPN. You are going to get the VRF. What else? You're going to get control connections, right? What else? IPsec. You're going to get GRE also. So these terms you are going to get in the SD-WAN on daily basis. So I hope OMP you know already. What is the meaning of OMP? Everyone clear? OMP
सर
about OMP?
सर ओएमपी का कोई लूप अवॉइडेंस मैकेनिज्म होता है क्या, जैसे नॉर्मल राउटिंग प्रोटोकॉल में होता है?
There is a path selection method, right? जैसे बाकी प्रोटोकॉल में पास सिलेक्शन मेथड होता है, देयर द पास सिलेक्शन मेथड and they are using the different criteria how to select the best part to avoid the loop. So I will discuss later on when we'll talk the OMP
ओके
deep dive,
ओके ओके
because I'm just giving the idea right now, so we'll talk later. So OMP is basically a routing protocol. मैं लिख देता हूँ routing protocol and only for Cisco. No other vendor support this. Only for Cisco. This OMP routing protocol only for Cisco means if you are using the Cisco SD-WAN, you can use this routing protocol. If you're using the different SD-WAN, you cannot use this routing protocol. Clear? IPsec is protocol, IP security, which full form is IP security. It's open standard. You can use the Cisco, you can use for non-Cisco for your data tunnel. Means you are sending in data that is going to use. BFD is basically bidirectional forwarding directions. Means it is a protocol, might be you learn in the BGP OSPF, BFD you might be configured in the neighbor. This BFD is going to be quickly detect whether my neighbor is dead, up or down. So this BFD is very important. Even you are going to use this BFD for every configuration, and this BFD is going to run between the router to router. Please note it down. Only between the router. Means which router? Cisco router means SD-WAN router. This BFD is going to run, and the only function of this BFD, if the link having any loss, any latency, any jitter, this BFD is going to be quickly identified, and based on your policy, it is going to give the best path to you. Clear? Now, VRF, you know that this is a virtual routing forwarding. I hope everyone know the VRF. VRF is nothing, just you have the one of the router, you want to split the routing table in multiple part, then VRF is going to be there, and it is going to isolate your routing, and dedicated instance is going to be for the different customer and every customer have their identical routing table. That is your VRF. GRE tunnel, that's the generic routing encapsulations. If you want to make the, like suppose this is your branch 1, this is your branch 2, and you want to make the tunnel, then you require the ISP. Over the ISP, you can build the GRE tunnel. It is going to be encapsulate your IP packet in the tunnel, but it is going to be unsecure connectivity. Means anything you're sending from the GRE, it is going to be unsecure, but it support the routing protocols as well. Over GRE, you can run your BGP, OSPF, GRP. IPsec also do the same thing, but IPsec, this GRE is also used for data tunnel, data traffic. IPsec also used for data traffic, but GRE is unsecure, IP secure, but GRE is flexible. You can run the BGP, OSPF, GRP under GRE, but in the IPsec, you cannot run any BGP, OSPF, GRP. Only you can run the static route, unicast routing. So that's why GRE is secure but not flexible. Sorry, IPsec is secure but not flexible. GRE is flexible but not secure. So sometime you are going to find GRE over IPsec. So you can get the security from the IPsec and flexibility from the GRE, and then they are going to be prevent your network for any kind of data transmissions which is going to happen. This all clear? OMP, IPsec, BFD, VRF, GRE. Shall I go and discuss TLOCs, VPNs?
Sir, VFD inside the IPsec or IPsec
Inside the
inside the?
IPsec. Inside the IPsec.
Okay.
Inside the IPsec. VFD always going to inside the IPsec. Router to router, first your IPsec is going to be built, then inside the IPsec your BFD is going to be automatic build. You don't have to do any configuration even.
Okay. If
Okay.
IPsec goes down, then
BFD
BFD
also
will be
down.
impacted. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If your VFD is up, then IPsec is definitely going to be up. Both are going to complement each other. Okay. Now moving further. TLOC. Let me go in last. VPN. VPN is basically similar to the VRF. Means in SD-WAN, VPN is equivalent to VRF. There are 3 VPN is going to be there. VPN 0, that is a 1. VPN 512, and the third range is going to be VPN 1 to VPN 511 and VPN 511 to 65527. So this is the range of VPNs. This VPN is again equivalent to VRF. Means if I am creating one VPN, VPN 1, and there is VPN 2, they are completely isolated routing engine. They are not going to exchange routing by default each other. Likewise, a VRF. So VPN 0 is dedicated for your, means anything you want to connect the ISP connections. Means there is a router, you want to connect the WAN. There is a router, you want to connect the any ISP. It's going to be always configured in the VPN 0. Clear? Any WAN connectivity for the underlay, you want to make the connection from the router. Any ISP termination, it is going to be under VPN 0. Any LAN connection, you want to do that, they are going to fall under this VPN. This one is clear. So in my topology, if I want to do that, this WAN configuration, it is going to be always VPN 0. This WAN always VPN 0. This LAN is always VPN, that is the 12511 or 511 to 65527. This is clear to everyone. So this is known as the WAN VPN, and this is the LAN VPN. This is the management VPN. Means you want to manage device like loopback you creating. You want to take the remote access, log into devices. This is going to be your management VPN. Clear. We'll do the further discussion on it. Okay. We have to configure this all in very detailed from tomorrow onward. Tomorrow we'll start the lab, because today's session is just about you're building the right concept about the controllers and the good understanding about the product terminologies. Next step, control connections. Anyone tell me what is the control connections? What is the control connections, guys? Because we discussed about it.
DTLS tunnel, sir, connection
Yes. So
between
any tunnel we are building like DTLS or TLS between router to where?
vSmart. vSmart.
Controllers. This controller can be vSmart, vManager, or vBond. And second,
vBond.
between controllers.
Controllers to controller.
Yes, between the vSmart, vManage, vSmart. So DTLS, TLS is going to build, and those connections are always going to known as the control connection. It's going to be always from the router to the controllers or between the controllers. This control connection is going to be there. So I hope it is clear. So we always have to build this control connections. Clear? Shall I erase? Now, the most important, we left with the T-lock. What is T-lock? T-lock is known as the
Transport locator.
transport locator. So what is a transport locator? So transport locator is the very important and powerful term in this SD-WAN. Without this T-lock, you cannot build any kind of the routing communications. Its T-lock is acting as a exactly similar to the next hop of BGP attribute. Means your next hop should be reachable. If there is no next hop reachable, you cannot build the BGP neighbor, or you cannot exchange the routing communications, or your route is not going to communicate. So similar to the BGP next hop, this T-lock is going to act. Means every SD-WAN routers, whenever you're going to deploy the routers, you might be going to connect with a multiple ISP. This is the ISP A. This is the ISP B. This is the ISP C. This is my ISP D. Every ISP have the unique T-lock. This is the T-lock A. This is the T-lock B. This is the T-lock C. And this is the T-lock D. All ISP have the unique T-lock. Means how router will come to know which circuit belong to the which ISP. That T-lock is going to identify. And for remote side of view, let's suppose this router is advertising one of the prefix 1.1.1.1.1/32. So if it is going to receive from the remote branch, then how it is going to be come to know which T-lock is best, which ISP is best to send the traffic. Means there are 4 prefixes going to reach there. 4 traffic. Let me back to this topology so you guys can understand in better way. Let's suppose this is a router. There are 2 T-locks sending the one of the prefix 13, 13, 13. It's reaching to this one. How this router will come to know which T-lock is the best path? Which path is best? Which next hop is best? So this ISP MPLS having a different T-lock, this internet having a different T-lock. So based on the T-locks, they are going to be identify which one is the best. You must have to do some path manipulations. By default, the both T-log is going to come in the routing table, and they will do the ECMP. I will show how the ECMP is going to happen. ECMP is known as a equal cost multipath. So they will do the ECMP, but the T-log is going to be helped to identify what is my next hop that particular route, and this T-log have 3 tuples. T-logs have 3 tuples. First, the system IP, and what is system IP we will discuss. Second is the color, and third is the encapsulations. So now we have to discuss about the what is system IP, what is the color, and what is encapsulation by tomorrow, so you guys can understand from here. But T-log is just going to be your unique identifications for every ISP, every route, and this is going to be combined with 3 tuples: system IP, color, and encapsulation. So we have to understand what is system IP, what is the color, and what is the encapsulation, and how they are going to basically configure also. Any doubt till here, guys? Because I believe 2 hours theory is too much for today. But it's indeed very important टू नो एवरीवन। बताओ कोई डाउट रह गया?
नहीं सर, लेकिन अभी आपने जितना पढ़ा है उसमें से इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन निकालना तो क्या क्या हो सकता है वैसे?
ये सारे इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन ही हैं, सारे जितनी चीजें हैं सारी इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन है, क्योंकि दे आर गोइंग टू आस्क कि भाई टनल कहाँ बनती है, बताओ बीएफडी कहाँ बनता है, यो कहाँ आपका आईपीसेक बनता है, आपका कंट्रोल डाउन होगा तो क्या होगा, ये डाउन होगा तो क्या होगा, सारे मैंने इंटरव्यू करे। टी लॉग क्या होता है, ये टर्मिनोलॉजी आपका आईपीसेक कैसे काम करती है, जीआरई कैसे काम करती है, ओएमपी क्या होता है। तो ये जितनी चीज बताया ना, ये पूरा इंटरव्यू बेस ही मैंने बताया, क्योंकि ये सारी चीजें इंटरव्यू में ही पूछी जाती है, इतनी मैं थ्योरी में बताया अभी आपको। क्योंकि ये अगर आपको क्लियर नहीं है, इफ यू डोंट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई फेल ओवर कैसे होता है, टनल कैसे बनती है, आप एसडीएन सीख ही नहीं पाओगे। दीज आर द बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट। और 90% ऐसे इंजीनियर को बेसिक ही नहीं पता होता। अगर हमसे पूछो ना, उनको लगता है कि ट्रैफिक हमेशा वी मैनेज के थ्रू जाता है। जब भी आप पूछोगे ना, तुमको लगेगा कि आपका एक्चुअल ट्रैफिक जो होता है, अगर ट्रैफिक फ्लो पूछ दो कि भाई अगर राउटर इससे बात करना चाहता है, तो आई हैव सीन पीपल आर ऑलवेज, एंड आप लोग देखना, मैं बोल रहा हूँ अभी क्लास के दौरान भी पूछूंगा मैं क्वेश्चन, जब पूछूंगा ना, तो आप लोग में से ही कई लोग आंसर दोगे कि सर ट्रैफिक तो ऐसे जा रहा होगा, ऐसे ऐसे जा रहा होगा यहाँ पे। लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता। दिस इज द कंट्रोल पार्ट। डेटा ट्रैफिक ट्रैफिक इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू फॉलो द डेटा, ये वाला पाथ। तो ये सब क्लैरिटी होना चाहिए कि भाई टनल कैसे काम करता है आपका, मतलब बाकी जो फैब्रिक है वो कैसे काम करता है, वी मैनेज का क्या रोल होता है आपको पता होना चाहिए, वी स्मार्ट का क्या रोल होता है पता होना चाहिए, वी बॉन्ड का रोल क्या होता है पता होना, जो मैंने बताया। तो ये सारे फंक्शन आपको पता होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये सब पूछा जाता है इंटरव्यू में। तो एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम स्क्रैच जो भी मैंने बताया है, यू शुड नो अबाउट इन वेरी वेल। ठीक है गाइज? चलो, सो कल मिलते हैं, ठीक है? आई होप कि आप लोगों को मजा आया होगा। एंड लेट्स मीट टुमारो 10 शार्प, एंड विल स्टार्ट द कॉन्फ़िगरेशन पार्ट। थोड़ा अंडरले करेंगे, फिर ओवरले करेंगे, फिर कंट्रोलर बिल्ड करेंगे, एंड विल जस्ट सी कैसे पूरा जो सिस्टम ने बताया कैसे वो काम करता है।
Yeah.
चलो बाय, सी यू टुमारो, थैंक यू गाइस।
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू।